Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very curious edition of the Inside Carriers Edge webinar series. This one, I'm sure you can tell right away, is a little different. One, I'm wearing a tie. But two, we are on location. Deanna and Selassie are joining me. We're actually in the same building, but they are in various parts of the building. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. We are on the verge of wrapping up this year's Best Leads to Drive for Education and Awards Conference. And this was the first one that we're really kicking off ourselves. It's in one sense, it's an inaugural event, even though Best Leads has been going on for 16 years now. And so for this webinar, we want to take you around a little bit, show you the space, and we'll tell you about some of the content that's just taken place. You'll get an inside edge on all the things that we talked about. We might even tell you who the winners were. I'm sure you could find that in the news, maybe the next half an hour though, but we can tip you up beforehand. So, how's everybody doing? Deanna, Selassie, you having a good time?
Great time.
It's been great.
It's
Uh,
it's for those who don't know, we are at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's pretty cool. I don't know anything about NASCAR, but this has been super cool. So what's going to happen is, wow, Selassie showed off already. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the content that we shared, and some of the people that we met, some of the things that we've seen, and then in a little while, Selassie is going to show us a bit more of, kind of the ins and outs of the space and kind of some of the very, very cool things that you can do here. Apart from hearing me talk, which I'm sure has been extremely entertaining for lots of folks. So, where to start? Yesterday we had Mark gave a kickoff session around 4 o'clock, right around the time the eclipse was ending, and we had a sort of a gloss of what we learned in the Best Leads program this year. So I'm going to assume that everyone on the webinar knows what the Best Leads to Drive for program is. If you don't, stick something in the chat and I can give you a quick rundown of what it's all about. But ultimately, this competition that does start in the fall, running through the winter, culminates in this event where normally we would celebrate the winners. We'd look at the fleets that made it onto the top 20, the ones that made it into the Hall of Fame, and then among those, we would award an overall winner for small fleet, overall winner for large fleet. And this year, we introduced a brand new award, which was the best overall winner for the Hall of Famers, called the Stratosphere Award. So we just wrapped those up. We wrapped those up around noon. Is that right? I feel like that's true.
Went into lunch at 12. Yep.
Yeah. So it's you've been having a good time. So let me give you a little rundown of some of the things that we have talked about, and these are kind of inside tidbits of information on the content, and you're not really going to find it anywhere else. So those sessions weren't live streamed, and there'll be some versions of it coming out in terms of blog posts and things like that. But this is the closest you're going to get to having been there without having been there. So I don't know, what was one of the things that stood out in the content this morning, Deanna? I feel like you said retirement was one. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that really has to do with the demographics.
Right. So I think for the first time in a very long time, I learned the stat last fall that the average age of a driver in North America has actually just fallen below 50, but just barely. And what that means is there's a whole spate of them who are getting older. However, traditionally, it has been the case that drivers haven't thought a lot about planning for retirement, about investing and things like that. It's sort of, you get your paycheck, you have your paycheck, that's it, that's all. And what's happening with the younger generation is that they're thinking more about that. And so as these leading fleets start to offer for things like retirement plans, people are starting to pay attention. And one of the other tidbits that came out was ultimately, one of the barriers to drivers getting involved in retirement programs was a matter of financial literacy. And so we're seeing fleets invest in bringing education components about retirement planning and savings and things like that to drivers. And that is having a positive effect in terms of their enrollment with retirement. And my sense is that when you invest in financial literacy and they get more involved in retirement, that's an investment in retention. So I think that drivers will, once they realize, oh, okay, this is funneling into my future, maybe I should stay here, assuming that everything else is okay. So investing in financial literacy, I think it's ultimately an investment in retention. More broadly, money often comes up as a complaint from drivers. We're not paid enough, we're not paid enough, we're not paid enough. But one of the big insights, both in yesterday's sessions and today's sessions, is that what looks like a money problem isn't always a money problem. It's sort of, it may be top of the driver's mind, but what's really driving that complaint is a whole bunch of stuff underneath. And so maybe what they really want is more home time, or maybe there's just sort of a general anxiety, and they think that somehow pay is going to make that better. But one of the things that's been shown over the years is as you pay drivers more, their miles go down. So it's not like they're trying to get larger and larger paychecks. It's just that takes some of the pressure off, and they don't have to work as hard to still keep their heads above water in terms of their personal finances. Sorry if my voice is a bit raspy. I've been talking a lot today, but here we go. What else do we see today, Deanna?
I kind of think that we should talk about what we saw. I mean, it came up yesterday and it came up today, but it's the whole thing around cybersecurity. So that's been coming up a lot. I mean, certainly we had Paul's really interesting talk yesterday on cybersecurity, right. And then it was coming up today as well. So a little bit about that.
That's right. And so, and I want to get her title right. So we did have a guest speaker yesterday on cybersecurity. And this was Marley Hall. She's the Director of Public Relations for NMFTA, which is the National Motor Freight Traffic Association. And basically, she scared the hell out of everybody. So for a good chunk of her sessions, she's like, here are all the weak points, all the places and ways bad actors can take advantage of fleets, whether that's actual hacking trucks or in terms of ransomware at the terminal. But there are all sorts of places where we may be in trouble. But she is part of this organization, among many others, who are trying to help educate people on how to sort of plug those holes. And that is a question in the Best Fleets questionnaire that we ask, hey, what are your plans around cybersecurity? And does that include drivers? And one of the complaints that fleets have sometimes had with us is, well, cybersecurity, what does that have to do with being a best fleet? And the answer is, if you're the victim of ransomware and your system is shut down and you can't pay your drivers or you can't route them anywhere because your system is locked, does that make you a good company? No. So it's really just about managing your potential weaknesses and making sure that you can stay in the game, because look, this threat it's not going to go away. It's just going to get worse in the future. What else? What else do we think?
The one thing that came up a lot with that too is the importance of training, really training everyone in the company, because there's an emphasis on training people, office staff who are using the systems, but really want to train drivers as well, because everybody is at risk.
Right. Yeah. And I've often said, even training drivers even if the driver's on a closed system, giving them some training on spotting phishing or anything like that it's going to be relevant, because they have their own personal email accounts, right? They do their own finances. And if they are a victim on that end and they're going through all sorts of difficulties, well, how do you think they're going to work out, when they come back to work, right? If their personal life is hard, things are not going to go so well at work. So that's a kind of investment as well. No, you're absolutely right. Hey, Selassie, I feel like you're getting a bit twitchy and want to show us some of the event.
No, it's people are walking by, so that was kind of trying not to react to being on this call at the same time.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to show some
I
stuff?
sure I can show where our reception was yesterday.
Hmm.
Let me see if I turn my camera around for everyone. Okay. So we had the second floor here, starting with this Hall of Honor. It was kind of cool. We're able to let the attendees kind of roam around and see what this space has to offer. Now, this is a sport that I'm not one to participate in or watch a lot, but this Hall of Fame was pretty cool. So,
Wow. Can
so
you get up close to those cars?
sure, yeah. Let me read this one for you and see who drives
All right.
this one. Looks like this one belonged to Jimmy Johnson.
Ah, famous Jimmy. I have no idea who Jim Johnson.
But one thing I did learn, there is no space in these cars.
Oh, really?
Did you do the simulator yesterday?
I didn't. I did. I just did the qualifier, but I didn't actually get in the car.
Oh, let me take you guys
I
to the other
think it's
side.
safe to say that we didn't qualify.
We may have done badly, yes.
Uh,
But you're saying
no,
there's a place here where you can actually get in a car and run it as a simulator.
yes, right here, you can see these are the simulators here. So they let everybody get inside and they put you on a track. And no matter how well you practice, you cannot account for other people and their bad driving. So it's I want to say any accident I had yesterday was not my fault. So,
And was it a specific other person's fault or just generally everyone else?
you know what? The hardest part of doing the simulator seemed to be people getting out of the starter, the pit stop. So I think they'd
Really?
start flooring it without shifting gears and would spin out. And then they would be just horizontal on the road and you can't avoid
Oh,
T-boning them. So,
yeah. So pan back
yeah,
again to the collection of simulators.
yeah, let me go back here.
Oh. So
Here,
every one of those cars is a simulator.
yeah, which is great because when you're racing, they get the board up so you can watch the race there. And then as the night progresses, everybody's best times go up. And yeah, it's fun. So when you get out, you know who crashed into you because you see their car when you're out. So I was in, let me try not to get in trouble here. I'm hopping over
But a little bit
the
of
barrier
trouble.
just a little. So I was in that Cheddar's number 8 car, and I T-boned the person driving the FedEx car. I was uh, I was probably sitting in like second place at the time, and I had to say thank you for making me lose my position. So, but it was a good laugh after. So let me so here
Oh wow. What? Oh, you're all right. Our man in the street is like getting the real report here. Look at
if
this.
you're tall, it's kind of hard to get in here, but
Okay.
as
Yeah,
the
is it super cramped?
uh like I'm what 5'11", I kind of had to contort myself to fit in here. So,
Yeah.
but it was cool. It was a great experience. So, if you're somebody that always wished to be on a NASCAR track, definitely it's worth giving it a try. So,
And also, I think looking at a bunch of the people who were at the event last night, I think there's a whole bunch of them who never even considered it, but are now like really glad they got the chance.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, I would never think to jump in a simulator, but I think I went through twice after doing the practice run. So here's another one. This one, people were really having fun with this as well. The pit challenge. So
Oh, we never even
I
got
didn't.
to that. Okay.
Yeah, I never tried this one, but It was definitely seeing how
Oh, you
fast
get
people
to change a tire?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and then they show the scores up here, but
Deanna, we got to try that.
yeah, I
We're
think
definitely trying that.
We're terrible
after the
drivers, so we got to be able to do something.
yeah, but let me here. I'm gonna bug somebody here. I don't know if the background noise is too much, but
Yeah, so far so good.
let me see. Um, first, let me get permission here.
Is he harassing someone?
Let me turn this around. Okay, I'm here with Chris Weaver. He was in the
Hey,
simulators yesterday as well. Uh, you gave some coaching advice. I believe you told me about, following another car and doing that draft, right?
Yeah, trying to get the draft.
Yeah, but I still crashed, so we'll let that go.
You really want to run into me.
I went into that FedEx car first. I don't know who's driving the FedEx car.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah, it's great.
had a good
I
experience.
had a lot of fun. It's
nice.
it's about as close as you can get to being in a car and driving on the track. So it's pretty neat. It's different
Wow.
than a regular game console. So I was really happy I could do that.
And have you been to the Hall of Fame before, or is this first time?
I got you in my ear, so I'm just gonna repeat
Oh,
your
of course,
question.
yeah.
Is that have you been
yeah.
to the Hall of Fame before? Or is
I have not. No, this is my first time.
Nice,
So
nice.
enjoyed it.
Had a
Good.
lot. Learned a lot.
If
Excellent.
we come back here, you think you'll come back here?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay. And next year we take the front two cars on the simulator or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
First car.
Taking the first car. That way you avoid the
Amazing.
people causing accidents in the back. So okay, Chris, thank you.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Amazing. All right, I'm going to give you a break now, and then later on you can take us down Glory Road.
Oh, for sure.
Nice. So Deanna, I want to take a couple minutes and talk about the behind the scenes details, how many things we had to think about to pull this thing off. And you got to see a lot of things backstage. And it's sort of like making sausages and laws, right? Like you don't really want to know how it's made, but there you go. How was your experience backstage organizing the Hall of Famers before they came out on stage to get their awards? Like, was it fairly seamless?
It was a fun process. It was great to meet everyone who was part of Best Fleets and seeing them all together, which is quite a wonderful opportunity. It was a little bit chaotic behind the scenes initially, and then everybody came together. There was a process. We had a short chance to rehearse, and then when it came down to it, it went off. So it was fun.
But then in terms of those little details though, like even on the flight down, we were all packing badges, right? We're all just putting those little things together. So it's like we hit the ground running.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. We were on the plane stuffing badges,
Yes.
putting things together.
Yeah,
But it
putting
was
the lanyards together.
well organized, we just knew what we had to do and everybody did it. So it's great to be part of a team in this process.
It was well executed. And yeah, you're right. Everyone seemed to know what to do and what to expect. And people seemed happy, I think, overall. And I've never been to Charlotte before, but this is a nice town. It's a nice town.
It's a very nice town. It's a lot warmer. We only got the partial eclipse here though.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think we hit like 80%, but Selassie went out and stared at it with bare eyes. It's just
Selassie and I shared glasses.
we were sharing glasses. It was amazing. All right, so how about a little more content? In the session this afternoon, I had kind of a fireside chat with Jane. So we got up there and we were getting into a deep dive of Phelps' book, which I don't have handy, but that's okay. And basically, it is a analysis of the trends and data that came out of everything that we learned this year from talking to fleets and grinding through the big questionnaire. And so this was our chat. We went category by category, and here is another one of the things that came up. So there is a phenomenon among the Best Fleets finalists. There's something called a driver advisory board, and basically it is a committee of drivers who kind of will consult on various things going on in the company. Why is that relevant? So I want you to consider this. I want you to imagine that there is a kind of a ladder of responsibilities in a company. So way up at the top, you've got sort of really broad-based business initiatives and responsibilities. So what kind of freight to haul would be like at the very, very top? The driver, right, is elsewhere, doesn't really have influence on that. It's sort of at the top level. And then you can run down through HR, you can keep going down through maintenance, all the way down to very, very intimate details that a driver would be responsible for, say, where to eat that day. So sometimes what happens is companies that maybe aren't involved in the Best Fleets program will draw a horizontal line across that ladder of responsibilities. And above that line is the company's problem. Below that line is the driver's problem. Anything happens below that line, it's a you problem. But one of the issues is sometimes decisions that are made up top do have effects down at the bottom. And this is where drivers get annoyed with companies because they're making these changes and they don't realize that they have all these impacts. And when the drivers complain about it, the company's like, well, that's below the line of responsibility. That's a you problem, even though the source of that problem was further up. One example was with maintenance. So traditionally, preventative maintenance, you got to bring the truck in every once in a while, and every 50,000 miles, whatever it happens to be, and you've got to look after it, and you've got to make sure it keeps running. And companies will have very elaborate plans managing that. But the problem is they pull the driver off the road to fix the truck. So now the driver is losing money because they have to sit there and wait. Well, the fact that they're not driving, like that's a you problem. But the fleets that are more in the lead in Best Fleets realize that they can make a very simple change and just organize the maintenance schedule around the driver's schedule. The driver comes home on a Friday, drops the truck off, truck gets fixed on the weekend, driver's back at it on Monday, boom, it's fixed. And so what's happened is in realizing that there are connections between decisions higher up on the ladder and impacts down low, the driver advisory board is one of the ways that you can help keep an eye on that, because you may not always know what decision you make is going to have impacts down the line. But the driver advisory board is going to be like, okay, if you do that, this will happen. And so that kind of system of communication and feedback is going to make things run a lot smoother. You're going to have happier drivers. Things are going to run more efficiently. It's just all the way down the line. It's just generally a good idea. And it seems like all of the fleets that are in Best Fleets, well, most of them now are in Best Fleets, have gotten that, and they've really made that change. But there are a lot of other companies that aren't there yet, but there's a whole host of reasons why it's a good idea. And in fact, for next year, for the Best Fleets conference, it's actually, the conference itself is open to any fleet. Even if you weren't involved in the program, you can come and get some intel. You can talk to people. You can network. You can learn all these things. We'll just give you the information. It's fine. So if you want to find out what all these companies are doing, just come register next year and show up. We'll be here. So that was another bit of content. So what's next? Selassie, you want to take us to Glory Road?
I feel like a field reporter, Channel 6 News. Okay, let me swap this again. Okay, Rick, let's go for a walk down here.
All right. So you are up where we left you, right? Where the simulators were, things like that?
Yep, up on level 3, making my way down. Feel like I'll walk faster, get to these cars a bit faster for you guys. But you should have people write in the chat if they know who drove which car. This weather check
fans.
47. That's does somebody Does somebody, I see a comment.
Yep.
Let
I
me
got
see if
you.
I can figure out who this was. Um, is it here? Did they get the right answer?
Actually, it was not a question about that. It was about the Best Fleets program. So
Oh, okay. Then I'll keep
suck it
going.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, give me a second, and I want to answer this question. So the question
Okay.
is there a list of common traits or practices of a best fleet? So is there a list? Kind of, yes. What we do each year is a driver will nominate their company, and then the company has to fill out a questionnaire, quite a lengthy questionnaire, and then they have to go through an interview with us, and then there's a set of driver surveys, and they have to basically, in order to qualify as as a potential winner, they have to have good safety and retention support. They have to meet a certain level of driver satisfaction in the survey, and then they have to hit certain metrics in terms of the programs they offer their drivers. So, in terms of the traits of a best fleet, we sort of over the course of the year we run down all of the trends and habits that the winning fleets tend to have. So that will happen in the results book, and it also happens on a monthly basis in articles that we publish about things that we discovered. So on the website, Best Fleets to Drive For, under the resources, there's a blog section, and there are also webinars, and so all this information, and you can also download the results book for free. So all the information that we learn, we're giving it away for free, and it's all on the website, and you can just watch all the webinars and all the recording and things like that. Now, I will say that there was a fleet that made it on. They joined the program last year. I'm not even sure that they made it as a finalist, but this year and in their second year, they made it onto the top 20. It's Crawford. And what happened was there's a young woman named Abby Ryan who basically last year took all that information that I was just telling you about and looked at all those habits and traits of best fleets, and she started applying them to her own company. And within the span of a year, she turned her dad's company around, and they ended up on the top 20 list. And it's really quite remarkable. So yes, to answer your question, but all that information is there, and it's not, you're not going to boil it down to one or two or three things. Each company, they're going to do something slightly different that works for them, whether it's the area they're in, the demographics, the drivers, the freight they haul, whatever it happens to be. But there is a broader set of best practices that, yes, you can absolutely boil down there. So, Lassie, you are, yeah, go ahead.
I think that comes down to a really important point, and I certainly heard it from talking to different fleets over the conference, which is best fleets engage in reflection. And that's what you hear. They look, they read the report, they do an analysis, they look at what they can do, they look at, what's an appropriate changes, improvements that they can do. So there's a reflection is part of the process. And I think that's what you see. There's a commonality in terms of best fleets, and Jane calls it rigorous reflection.
Okay, so ruthless. Was it ruthless or was it rigorous? I don't know. Either way, it was like, yes, being tough about it. So there isn't a set of strict like plug and play. If you do this, you will be. It's more a process of progress. Here is how I set up my company, and here are the things that maybe my drivers aren't really happy about it, and here's how I'm going to change it. And so year after year, if you use some of these habits that might work for you, you're going to see changes. And so the best fleets, what they're actually doing is they're just trying to figure out how to do a little bit better each year. And in fact, the ones who have been in the Hall of Fame for who knows how long, they've been on the top 20, who knows how long, as soon as the awards event is over, they go back to the drawing board for the next year and they figure out, okay, what new thing are we going to bring to our team? What new thing are we going to add? And so that's more the spirit of it. And so I think the other thing that came out of the session today was, it's not that being in the program is going to give you answers. is that it's going to give you lots of resources and data to go and ask better questions about your company, about your processes, and about your drivers. All right. Selassie is taking us further. This is a very long road, and this is sort of a crescent-shaped road that runs sort of spiraling around the building. Is that right? Well, inside the building.
Yeah, we're inside, just on the. You can see here around the room. Let me. We have everybody kind of in the high octane theater right now, but
Oh,
when they
right.
come out,
The
this is the
final
room
session
they're
just
in.
started.
Yeah, they're. So it's going to be a little quieter for me, but let me get down here and I'll do a quick loop here. So
Wow.
so it's pretty good space. Got Radio Nemo on.
Radio Nemo was like doing live on air from our event, which was pretty great. Dave Nemo himself was there interviewing people. It was super cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's some stragglers out here. I'm wondering if I should drag them into the webinar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
See
go
who we can
to
catch.
yeah. Let's okay. Hey, Rich, do you want to be on a quick webinar?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we have a winner here.
Hey,
How you doing?
hello, sir.
So, don't be shy. So I'm gonna repeat Rick's questions because I got him on my earpiece here. But we have we talked about our winners.
Absolutely.
Rick?
So yes. So first, I would say that when I was talking about the Hall of Fame, I know you guys can't hear me, but we were talking about the Hall of Fame, and we brought in an overall winner award this year, which is the Stratosphere Award.
About
And
the Stratosphere
Garner
Award.
was the one who took the overall
Okay.
top prize. So,
Yeah, there he has to go for a quick picture. They did bring
yeah,
the
of
car
course,
though.
of course. And that's actually the Garner car.
Yeah, let's while they're doing the pictures, let's
Yeah.
we can catch them after. I could pick on somebody else, one of our sponsors.
Oh, hope it's not Chris. Is it going to be Chris?
We'll okay, so give her 1 minute. I was gonna plug one of our truck ride sponsors, but just
Okay.
All people don't like being caught off guard and joining a webinar. So let's give her a quick minute and then
Nice.
she'll jump on. So yeah.
Hey, Deanna, has anything surprised you about the process? Like whether it's about the content or the fleets or the networking or how to put an event like this together? Did anything really stand out for you? Or
Can I say what stood out for me is just how much fun it's been? Like, it's been really fun.
yeah,
The sessions were good, and it's been in the environment, and it's been fun.
it has been fun and like exhausting. Like we have been putting in really long hours to pull this thing together. But I think quite often, and I don't know how Selassie feels about this, but in other conferences, there's that networking session where everyone's just kind of standing around and groups of threes and fours, and you're nursing your drink and you're making small talk. It's fine. It's fine. But last night was different.
I think this space was just so interactive. You could I wish I could go in the theater and show everybody the setup in the theater. You're talking kind of movie style, the nice comfortable chairs, get to lean back. It's elevated, so you're not sitting in these hard seats. The room, the way the speakers are set up, it's engaging. Huge screen. You're not
Huge screen.
So that I thought was really well. It keeps everybody engaged on the content. And like I said, you come out once everybody's out, probably gonna head up and start doing some of the interactive stuff again. So you have, like I showed you guys, the simulators. The one side actually has practice simulators, so you're able to go in there, do some practice runs, and then go to the racing simulators and the pit challenge as well. So I think that went on last night for a good 3 hours. We had to kick
Easily.
people out.
Yeah.
So it's if you want a space that's gonna, engage your audience, this was a great space. When I was first when told that this where we're holding it, I was kind of like, okay. I mean, I'm not an NASCAR guy, so but
Yeah.
this is a great space.
This impresses. And if people want to see more shots of the inside of the event, theater, I think Martha is putting some stuff on social media. She's actually across the room, but she's trying to ignore me. Okay, there you go. You got stuff on social media, right? Are there pictures up? Yes. So loads of pictures. Do you want to come and be on the webinar? Do you want to come and be on the webinar? That was a no, by the way.
I might just
But,
walk over there
yes.
anyway.
But yes, so we've actually got loads of pictures on social media, and they're going to be more coming out in the mainstream media in terms of coverage of the event. But it's it's a very beautiful space. So what else? Were you trying to wrangle Jess or Natalie from Truck Right?
Oh, how did you know? We got Natalie.
Hey, Natalie.
Okay, so I'll just
Hello.
ask questions because
Yeah,
Rick is
just
talking,
do it.
nobody can hear him. So, do you want to give me a recap of the last 2 days?
It's been an amazing time here. So much fun last night, doing all the cool stuff that's offered
Did you
here.
drive yesterday?
I did drive yesterday. Not a great driver. Didn't come first place like you, but
I didn't even tell anybody that.
well, now I've let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, that's. Did you do the pit challenge
What-
too?
I did the pit. No, I did not do the pit challenge.
Okay.
No, I knew
Yeah.
the timer would be much too heavy for me.
I think Rick was
What-
about to say something.
Yeah, can you ask her what Truck Right's doing here?
He wants to know what
How they
Truck Right
involved?
doing
Yeah.
there.
We
What-
are supporting the event and all the fleets here just to make sure that they know they have our support, that we are 100% into this. We see value in the program, and we're just here to offer our support to everybody out there.
So they're
I was
one of
gonna
our three
say,
official
for-
sponsors, right?
For catching her off guard and pulling her into this, that was great. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
one of
wait,
our
wait,
three
wait.
official
Yeah.
sponsors. Oh,
So what about yes? And give me the 30-second Truck Right spiel. What is it? What's Truck Right?
he wants the
What's good about it?
30-second Truck Right spiel.
30-second Truck Right spiel is Truck Right is an all-in-one fleet software. So we do everything from recruitment to retirement. We're an all-in-one system to help your companies thrive and survive in this up-and-coming market.
Can you tell us she's worked there for a while? No, Natalie,
Amazing.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if we're back here, will you be here?
We will be here.
Awesome.
Nice. Nice.
Thanks,
Looking
guys.
forward to it. Thanks. So here's the other thing about this event. So apart from our sponsors, so Truck Right, Netrodyne, and Epic View, there are no vendors, right? So when fleets come at other conferences, you've got to navigate people trying to sell you stuff, all this stuff. But that's not happening here. This is strictly a networking event and an education event. So we didn't let vendors in. That's it. Except for our sponsors, that's it. That's all. It's just fleets learning from each other. So he's trying to get someone else. So see if you can end up tracking down Epic View or Netrodyne as well. Oh, Deanna, my voice is starting to go. What else should we talk about? I guess we've got teardown. Eh? We've got to like the the whole thing's going to wrap up in another hour or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of dreading that, but that's it.
I'm wondering if there was any, because you had an opportunity to be on the stage, and if there was anything in terms of the presentations that you would like to just highlight.
So certainly the experience was super cool. It was very intimate, and the attention to detail from the event hosts, like the NASCAR Hall of Fame people, have been so attentive in terms of like getting the exact lighting, exact carpet, the sound, and they didn't stop till we were getting exactly what we wanted. And so when I was up on stage there, it was just everything was taken care of. And I know there's a session going on right now, and Slash, you can't go in, but the seats are super comfortable. Like you think of like an auditorium there, you maybe get those hard seats, things like this. This felt like almost like gamer chairs, to be honest. Like there's a little bit of bounce to them, a little bit of reclining, little cup holder. It was really, really nice. And yeah, I think that because this is the first time we've done the education event, people weren't exactly sure what to expect. But once we got into it, this is basically like we are giving you everything you need to know about getting ready for next year and taking good ideas back to your fleet. And so in the session, with Jane and I, it was more of a fireside chat. Mark's session yesterday, it was more of a broad, high level gloss of what's going on in the industry. And of course, Jane's keynote speech this morning was sort of a middle ground between those two things. So, and then right now, actually, Mark's final session is he's taking the results book and telling you how to read it and how to learn from it. So now you've got all this data, and what do you do with it? Now there is an additional thing that we do. A lot of the Hall of Fame fleets, a lot of the top 20 fleets as well, will purchase there it is. There's a results book. Again, those are free both at the event and also right on the website. If it's not up now, it will be in the next 24 hours or so. People will purchase a report from us, which is basically a very specific analysis of what we learned about your company, about your driver surveys, about your programs and how they compared to what everyone else is doing, whole 9 yards. And so a lot of the companies take advantage of that. You don't have to. And the fee is nominal. It's basically, it covers the cost of production. But otherwise, like the participating in the program come the fall is free. As long as you can get as long as one driver likes you and one driver can nominate you, you can get it. You're good to go. And then the rest just kind of follows. So what else we got? Anything else good to see, Slazy? Are there any
Sorry, I got everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the theater right now. Just people waiting into the radio, but I don't want to interrupt the radio show right now.
No.
I would say, yeah. Let me
hey,
not just.
do you think you could show us the outside?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Let's.
I think our sign is still up, right?
Want to see the sign? Okay.
I kind of want to see the sign, to be honest.
Okay. Let's. I'm not gonna. I know you're safely tucked away in there, so I'm gonna let you feel guilty about this later. So, but I think it's a nice sign, so it's worth it.
We'll go for barbecue later. I'm buying.
Okay. I'm going for a little trek.
All right,
Channel 6 weather report. A little misty. It's getting it's not fully raining yet, but
whoa.
Okay.
This is cool.
Should appear over my shoulder soon, but
getting there. Almost. Oh, look at this. Look at this building. There it is. You know what's weird about the quality of that ad board is that it almost looks photoshopped. It looks like, but no, that's the real deal. This is the
when
NASCAR
they had it
Hall of
going
Fame,
on night, it was yeah.
So
definitely a great venue. If you haven't been here, I'd suggest if we're here next year, come check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let me head back in.
Yeah. Nice.
You know,
All right.
In the round, just that walkway that Selassie was going down, that long walkway, that's what that round part is. It's really quite a spectacular building from the inside and the out.
let me. I guess you don't need to see.
The long walk.
Oh.
Amazing.
Sorry,
Yeah. Go on.
I
No,
don't
it's
think I
okay.
hit stop video. My apologies.
No, perfect. Perfect. Good. So I know she won't appear on camera, but I do want to say Martha has been absolutely fantastic as one of our photographers and managing so many details. It's been great. I don't know if Celeste, I don't know if you can see Lindsay around,
Oh
but
yeah, I'll
I absolutely want to celebrate the entire team because they are tired and they worked hard and it all super paid off.
yeah. Let me go get Lindsay.
All right. She's not going to be happy about being on camera, but Martha's just glad it's not her.
Hey, while we're waiting, we
Yes.
should also mention Chris Henry's presentation that happened today. That
So
was-
good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will jump right on that. So can you tell Lindsay that we really appreciate all her hard work and her feet definitely paid the price.
He's telling everybody how much we appreciate your hard work. He's just raving about you. Everybody, you're the best. Are you gonna give people a quick update on Lindsay, or should we get her to break
Well-
out of her shell? And
Well, yeah. Who are you? What have you done?
who are you?
I am the marketing manager for Carrier's Edge.
And
And
what have you done today? She's being modest. Any show you see us at, anything, she prepares it. She does the orders. We just have to show up. Everything's always there. We
Yes.
don't.
Right.
I don't think we ever have to worry. We get there and it's
It's
set up.
seamless.
that's the goal, to
Yeah.
have everything in place when you guys arrive and make it as easy for you as possible.
Exactly. Has this show
That's
kept
it.
you busy?
That's it.
It has. It's been fun. It's been great today. My day's been spent wrangling radio hosts for the Dave Nemo show. So it's actually been a pretty easy job because they're all on time. Like they said, they're in trucking. They do deadlines well. So they're all there. They're all there early, and it's been a pretty easy day in that sense.
Shout
Nice.
out to the
Can you-
plug for the drivers. They do deadlines well.
Yeah. Can you ask her if she's wearing different shoes today? Go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
Are you wearing different
Go on.
shoes today?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing flats today.
Yeah, you survived
we
the
put
heels
in
yesterday.
yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
We put in such a long day yesterday and yeah, her heels were like they hurt.
I didn't think she was gonna make it back to the hotel, even though it's just across the street. So, but that was good. Lindsay, thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Perfect.
Tell Martha I'm coming for her. I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna tell you. You're gonna surprise her. And let me know if you can find Trish because we gotta find the mastermind here.
Yeah, we have to give Trish a big shout out.
But so while you're looking, so just before the award ceremony today, we had our other guest speaker was Chris Henry from KSM Transport Advisors, and basically, so the name of his session was the top 6 traits of profitable fleets, and this was really interesting, where if the Best Fleets program is a benchmarking program for workplace culture, Chris's program is a benchmarking program for profitability. And I would highly recommend checking this out. Again, KSF Transport Advisors, Chris Henry, and it was very, very illuminating the kinds of fleets that they deal with and the way that they sort of troubleshoot what's going on for their entire program, the way they approach their sense of business, and how to tweak those spots and make them more profitable. So you don't know this, but Selassie's now in the room with me, and he's threatening. So Martha, before anything else, we actually just want to say thank you, and I think you deserve just our utmost appreciation, because everyone has worked hard and you've done such a great job, and we really appreciate it. And we know you don't want to be on camera. Thank you so much. So yes, we're picking off the team one at a time, but I think Celeste is going to try and maybe find Trish next. So Trish is one of the masterminds. He would corner Mark and Jane, but of course they're still in that session that's going to go on, so we're not going to be able to catch them for this session. But
I'll say actually, Jane and Trish are on the radio right now.
are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they're
so,
doing a recorded session. Okay.
Yeah, so they're we might have to. It looks like actually no, headphones are still on. So
Yeah.
maybe
Usually, yeah, the Nemo folks are really tight about their 15-minute blocks. So I see it's 1:52, so they're probably going to run 1:45 to 2 o'clock. So we may not be able to catch them for this.
actually maybe I'm wrong. They might be done.
Oh, really? All right, should drag them over.
So you're going to ambush them just after getting off the radio?
I'll let them. They're just having a bit of a chit chat, and then I'll probably get both Trish and Jane.
That's amazing, and that actually would be the perfect way to wrap this baby up. But so, Deanna, I know that you had said, oh, I don't know, the last little while, you're really interested. Now you're heading up the content team, and you're really interested in getting sort of your hands dirty with people in the industry, and just like really talking to them and finding out more about how people approach business, things like that. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I came to this event with people that I wanted to talk to. And so I've done that because I wanted to ask them questions, very specific questions. And in some cases, I wanted to ask them to review.
Okay, so Lassie, this is the great. Oh, you're muted. This is the great Dave Nemo.
Okay. This is,
Wow,
you know what?
and-
Let me take off.
Yeah,
this.
no, just ask him how he's enjoying it.
Oh, Jane.
What?
I'm
Are
gonna.
you, are
I'm
you
gonna.
live streaming?
I need to go on
Yes.
Bluetooth.
Okay.
Oh, are you doing
So-
a webinar?
Yeah.
So
I just want to know
want
how
to
you're
go
enjoying the
move on.
space.
okay,
the
now
event-
everybody can.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, they
How
can
are
hear
you
you now.
enjoying the space? How are you enjoying the space, the event, the whole thing? How is it going?
Can I just say I can't drive a race car, but Selassie apparently can. I suck. But that's not,
I want
but that's
I
not
want to
what
know
I'm
if
doing.
Dave Nemo is getting in one.
I had a great night at the racetrack. I didn't come out last.
Oh, well done.
I was close.
I did. That was me.
Yeah.
So yeah, the venue is spectacular. I mean, it's really,
but-
it's a fun place to be.
Didn't expect 3 floors,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
It's so, and it's so strange because when you walk in, you see the cars in this racetrack, and they have a big graphic of fans in the stand, and they didn't look real, and they didn't look like they were life size. But when you walk in closer, you realize, wait a minute, those are real cars. It's kind
It's
of an
the real deal.
optical delusion, you know?
Well, Dave's been here yesterday, today, interviewing not just our winners, right?
No, we started at 7:30 this morning, so we did how many? 20 to 15 or 16 different interviews with all of the people. Every one of them absolutely wonderful. One of the best experiences we've had. And I'm not just saying that. It's been great. I'm so glad we were able to be part and parcel of this kind of almost inaugural event in a sense, in terms of Carrier's Edge doing this on its own in a sense.
Yeah,
and
Exactly that.
what a-
I have to tell you,
what a-
it's been an absolute gift having you there. I
Oh.
was able to get on the show with you in Louisville at the Airbnb, which was
Mhm.
great, and then to have you here again, it is always a pleasure and an honor, even just to be in your presence and
Well,
to have you here sharing your
Chris
talent.
Bethel is with us here, and
We thought we'd save her for last,
Yeah.
but we're
Sure.
she said you
Trish!
guys looked at like over 100 places before you picked this one. So yeah,
Indeed.
go ahead, Bethel.
Yeah,
It
let
was
me,
exhausted.
let me-
Yes.
Dave, thank you. I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Are we ready for Trish?
Yes.
Okay, let's get ready.
And then we have a couple questions in the pipe. Trish, how are you?
I'm great. It's been an amazing 2 days. It's been great to talk to the fleets. It's been great to be with the team. It's been great to meet Dave Nemo. It's everything about this has been fabulous.
And Trish, you can actually help me out because
Yeah.
the question here, one of the questions here is who were the competition winners? Do you remember the three top winners?
3 top winners for the Stratosphere Award. It's Garner Trucking.
Mhm.
For the large carrier, it is Challenger.
Mhm.
And for the small carrier, it is K&J Trucking.
K&J, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Yes.
So I wanted to hear from you, but I also wanted to get you on here to thank you for all your, you know what, to call it hard work doesn't even capture what you've done, but the number of, I don't know if you got like 2,200 eyes, but you've always got a sense of everything that's going on and what's not going right and what can be changed. And it's like, it has been such a joy coming on this ride with you. So it's like being in a race car with a professional driver. So it's been great.
It's not me driving. If it's me driving, that's a very, very bad reflection on me.
So thank you again. I guess we wrap up in about a half hour. Is that right?
Yeah, we
The-
do.
like the whole thing?
It's
Yeah.
almost 2 o'clock. So in 30 minutes, the final session ends. And then we've got some packing up. And by 4 o'clock, we're exiting NASCAR. And it'll be kind of sad to see it over. It has been phenomenal. I can't thank enough people. We have had, our team's been fabulous, but everybody we've gone to work with from hotel to site has been fabulous. So my deepest thanks to everyone.
By the time we go get our luggage.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, Trish. And
Thanks.
we are we're coming up to the top of the hour. And I'm going to put this up. And I want to say thank you to everyone, to Selassie and Deanna and Trish, and everyone who managed to get on the call here, and everyone who joined us. And like I say, all of the information that we've been talking about, you'll be able to find on the website and in our webinars and in our podcasts. It's all there. And of course, you can just email us if you want to know more. You could email trish@carriersedge.com or see us. In fact, you'll see our information on the website. And with any luck, we will see some new faces at the conference and education event next year. So that's it. I want to thank you all, and I guess we'll see you next month. All right. Thanks.